We are back live. We've got the camera oriented the right direction. This is so exciting. It's like the first time that during a live we've had the camera going the right way. So welcome. I'm so glad you could join me today. It's great to have you here. We are going to make a beef Wellington. This is so exciting. So we have everything here. I'm not going to physically cook a lot of things because beef Wellington takes a lot of time. It's about an hour to hour and 15 minutes of prep between the meat and the vegetables and the dough and the wrapping and the pasting and the everything. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to kind of go through the motions a little bit. We are going to make a gluten-free pastry dough up close and personal, so you see how that is done, because that's kind of the key to the whole Wellington. Important that you know that. So I'm just really glad that you're here. We will talk about all of that in a minute. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dee Dee Vecino, and I kind of started this little aller cuisine thing so we could cook allergen friendly, and I'm super excited about it. If you want to know all about my history and bio, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm everywhere. I've been an assistant principal, a teacher, director of education for an allergen company, education and training, so very exciting stuff. If you can hear me okay, go ahead and hit the thumbs up, and I'll know you can hear me and our volume is good. If not, I'll talk really loud because I don't have a microphone, and that's just how it's going to work. So no worries at all. Also, typically we film Wednesdays at 10 o'clock Mountain Time. I don't know if that works for you guys or not. So Wednesdays and Thursdays are my windows. I know we kind of had a weird week this week and I had to do it on Friday. We're not filming next week, just so you know, but starting in January we'll start again. So just let me know what works for you and include your time zone as you comment so that I can keep track of you guys and what's working and what isn't, which is kind of cool. So let's get started. When you're making a beef Wellington, you will need a 3-pound center cut tenderloin, filet mignon basically. This is not 3 pounds, this is 1.5 pounds. I did buy 3 pounds, cut it in half. I cooked half already for you, and we're just gonna work with the other half today to save time. So you need that, you need a little bit of beef broth. This beef broth has soy and wheat, so if you have a soy or wheat allergy, don't use this one. Use Pacific or Kitchen Basics. Those are gluten allergen free. If you're wondering about their facilities, call and check to make sure you're okay with that product before you purchase it. You're gonna need a little bit of pate. This is homemade pate, and it's easy homemade pate. It doesn't involve any cooking at all, and I'll give you a little hint on that in a little bit. So you're gonna need 4 tablespoons of pate. You're gonna need a 1/4 cup of scallions. You will need a 1/4 cup of chopped mushrooms, 2 sprigs of thyme. I already took the leaves off, but it's really easy. You just take your little thyme and you until you've got that. If you don't have fresh thyme, that is fine. You can use dried, 1 teaspoon of dried. I'm gonna post the recipe later, so don't feel like you have to write all of this down. You're also gonna need some olive oil. You will need pie crust. I use Wholly Wholesome pie crust because they're gluten and allergen free. No coconut oil. These are awesome. I use them in everything. My absolute flavor. If you don't want to purchase pre-made pie crust, you can always make your own gluten and allergen free pie crust. Recipes are everywhere on the web. You're going to need some butter. We're going to use Earth Balance Soy Blend today because it has 0 coconut oil, 0 allergens, and 0 gluten, and it tastes like butter. So good. You're going to need a little bit of flour for dusting, a rolling pin to roll out that dough, or hit something on the head if you're really angry. Don't do that. It's a bad idea. It's kind of fun to pretend. You're going to need a couple of eggs for your egg wash. I've got them already kind of done here. If you have an egg allergy, you can use melted butter, or you can just smear butter on. That works well too. You just want to make sure that your filet mignon has that, your filet mignon. Your beef Wellington has that lovely kind of browny mahogany color. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and we are on our way. To begin, you're going to take a little bit of olive oil, put it in your pan, get it to a nice heat, over medium-high heat. You can use avocado oil too, it works just fine. Then you're going to take your beef tenderloin and you are going to sear it on all 4 sides. All 4 sides, get it kind of nice and brown and beautiful. Once you have seared your tenderloin, and set that aside, you're gonna add to the same pot, this is fun, you're gonna add your onions and you're gonna add your mushrooms, just like that. You're gonna cook these babies up until they're soft and the scallions are transparent. I said onion, I meant scallion. You can use onion. I just prefer scallion because it gives it kind of more of a caramely sauce and a caramely color and a rich flavor. Once that's done, you're going to take your beef broth and put in a couple tablespoons of beef broth to deglaze the pan. What is deglaze? I am glad you asked. To deglaze, you know you get a lot of stuff on the bottom of your pan, that brown stuff tastes really good. So you want to deglaze that and kind of get it all out of there and mixed into your fabulous mixture. Then you're going to take this mixture and you're going to set it aside. So we'll just take it right on out of here, leaving the juices in the pan so you can make a fabulous au jus later. And we're not going to talk about that. It is on the website, so you'll be able to take a look at how to prepare your au jus for your beef Wellington, which is awesome. We'll set this aside. And you have what turns out to be this lovely, rich, caramely, mushroomy, scalliony. Oh, you forgot to add your thyme. Shame on you. Why don't you actually put your thyme in there too? And it needs to cook along with everything else. That smells really good. And then you have, voila, fabulousness, which we're going to put over here and use later. At this point, oh, and before you sear that meat, salt and pepper all over it. You want to season it with salt and pepper and just kind of make it scrumptious. I forget things because I'm an old darn woman, so forgive me for forgetting. So now we have all of that prep work completed. That will probably take you about 10 minutes between the vegetables and the searing and the deglazing and all of that. So we just fast forwarded 10 minutes in less than 2, which I think is pretty fabulous. We're gonna move this away because now we're gonna get to the fun, that pastry now, which is why I'm wearing an apron, because it gets really messy. Don't you love when I sing when I talk? I don't know. If you do, put a wow in your comment bar. Say something. Give me some love. I'm here all alone. I need some love. We're going to move our fabulousness aside for a moment. Get that out of our way. Get this out of our way because we are about to get messy. If you do not have gluten or dairy allergies, you can buy pre-made pastry dough, and you don't have to, this step you can completely miss. My assumption is a lot of you have gluten and dairy issues, and so you want to use something that's gluten-free and dairy-free. There are 2 out there that are gluten-free, but they also contain other allergens. Ghee, G-H-E-E-E, or G-E-E, they have a pre-made pastry dough instead of char, S-C-H-A-R, with umlauts over the A, but they do contain some allergens, and they're not widely available, so you have to order them. So you might want to check those out, see if that's a product that'll work for you. Then you can skip this step, but we're going to dive right in. So what you do is you take your pie crust, there are 2 of them here, and you crumble them into the bowl. Crumble them into the bowl. Once you've got them crumbled in the bowl, you're going to work and work and work and work that dough until you have a nice little ball. See the magic of live TV? And we're going to make that ball into like a log, a brick, because you're going to want to roll this out into a rectangular shape, and that's hard to do if it's in a ball. So we make it into a brick. We take out parchment paper or press and seal saran wrap. I ran out of parchment paper doing my sample for you yesterday, so we're going to use press and seal. Don't use cling wrap because it'll cling to your food, and that's not good. But the press and seal works well, and the parchment paper works well. You don't need it at all. You can do this on a clean surface, which is absolutely fine. I prefer to do it this way because I don't like cleaning. And if I do it on the surface, it's not working well, is it? It makes a great big mess. And I'm all about skipping the mess, quite frankly. So we're gonna have a little bit of a mess, but we shouldn't have a huge mess when we finish with this, which is awesome. So you're gonna take a little bit of your flour. I have gluten-free flour here. It doesn't matter if it's a 1-to-1 measure. It doesn't matter what kind of flour it is. The purpose is just to keep things from getting sticky. So the least expensive flour you can use. If you don't have a gluten issue or a wheat issue, you can use regular wheat flour. If you do, just an inexpensive gluten-free flour will be fine. So we're gonna dust our surface so that our dough doesn't get too sticky, because that's no fun rolling out sticky dough. I'm gonna put our brick down, and what we wanna do is make a nice rectangle, as rectangle-y as we can get. It's gonna be a trick. Sprinkle a little dough on top of our little guy so we don't get too sticky. And I have a tiny rolling pin. I need to get a bigger one, but I dust the rolling pin too because, again, we just don't want everything getting sticky. You're gonna roll out your dough till it's about 1/4 inch thick, and then we get to pretend we're in preschool, and play with gooey dough and butter, which is fun. So you just pretend you're back in your Play-Doh factory when you were 3 and 4 years old or 15, I don't know. I like Play-Doh. As a mom, well, I've got a lot of moms out there watching, young moms. I'm sure you're playing with Play-Doh all the time. Hey, sorry, I have a visiting dog here today, and they're playing right now. And sometimes my older one, she gets annoyed with the younger one who's visiting. And she just got annoyed with the younger one. But they'll be okay. We might hear some barking. The mailman comes. It'll be fun. I had them in their crates earlier. They were whining. That was annoying. So now they're out of their crates. And if your dough is a little sticky, that's okay. You just get it right on out there. So we've got it rolled out. Hopefully it won't be too sticky for us. This is where we get to play. It is playtime. Now I have washed my hands. I have clean hands. If you don't have clean hands, wash your hands because you're about to get them in the butter, which is like super fun and super cool. So you take a little bit of your butter, just like that. The recipe calls for 6 tablespoons. I don't really know how much it is because we just gonna smear it on and have some fun. So now you're gonna take this, because what makes a pastry dough? Pastry dough is basically pie crust with more butter and layers of butter. So now that's what we're doing. We're putting in the layers of butter that will help our dough puff up and become incredible. We're just gonna go crazy with this a little bit. And once you get it evenly spread all over, we're gonna roll it up like a jelly roll. You know what a jelly roll is? If you don't, we're just gonna roll it up like a great big log. How's that? Those jelly rolls are those wonderful desserts that you put the dough and the jelly and you roll it up and it's super colorful and pretty. So that's what we're doing. We could jelly roll or a Yuletide log or whatever you want to say. But it's fun. Let's see, we put enough flour down, which is great, so it's not like sticking to the paper and we don't have too much cleanup to do. Don't worry if your roll's not perfect because we're gonna smush it up and we're gonna put even more butter on it. So now we've got our wonderful little roll here. We're gonna flatten it just a little bit, not a lot, just. Isn't that fun? You're gonna take some more butter. Voila! And we're gonna put some more butter in here. Isn't that fun? You Play-Doh. Whenever I think of Play-Doh, I think I said this the last time. I think of like the beauty parlor one, where you put the Play-Doh in and you crank the little thing and it came out like Medusa. And little worms coming out of somebody's head. I thought that was so cool. It's so weird, but I thought it was so awesome. So once we have buttered the top of this roll, we're gonna fold it over in thirds. So now we have this wonderful little sneaky guy. And again, you're just gonna press it down a little bit more. Just press it down a little bit more. And put a little more butter in there. And press, 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 because we're gonna do one more of these. Just like that. So now you have your fabulous pastry dough log, and you want to let it sit in the refrigerator at this point for a little while because it needs to get a little bit hard. So I've already got it on this cling wrap. I'm gonna wrap it right up, put it in the fridge, and now I have, in about 20 minutes, a wonderful pastry dough. Look, see, that's not a bad mess at all. Simple. So in the refrigerator, you're gonna put it, my hands are gross, so I don't want to touch my refrigerator right now. There's something in my mouth, that would be my hair. I made this pastry dough yesterday, and after I rolled it out and got it in my triangle, you'll see the parchment paper, I rolled it up like a Pillsbury rollout, so that it'd be really easy to work with today. Let's hope my strategy works. So we just roll it out. There's some of my parchment paper from yesterday that keeps it from sticking to itself. And look what it's gone and done. It has separated in the rolls. So we will fix that because we don't want that mess, do we? We absolutely don't. So you do that in your kitchen? Let me just throw this over there. I don't know where over there is. It's my sink. I forgot to bring the garbage can over today. So it's not handy right now. So I'm just going to do a little repair work on the dough. It's really not that big of a thing, right? But we do want a solid pastry dough to put our fabulous. Listen to those two. What is their deal? You guys chill out. I'm going to put you in your crates. Yo, they're fighting over a bone. I should probably take the bone away. Then I'll have dog bone on my hands. That would be gross. We're not going to do that right now. Ellie, stop. Ellie's the little one, growling at the big one. She's bold. She's the old one though, so she has a little clout. So we've got our pastry dough all worked up here, which is awesome. It's still a little cracked, but it's okay. Remember, we talked about this last time. It's not about perfection, right? It's about enjoying food at the holidays and having something that's wonderful. And maybe it won't be beautiful, but you tried, right? And that's the big thing. We absolutely tried. Now we're gonna take our beef, and we're gonna put it just right kind of here, a little off center, because we're gonna end up rolling this dough all the way over and tucking things out in, hopefully on the bottom, if all works out as planned. The first thing I'm gonna do is take our pate, and this is homemade pate, and I told you I'd give you the little trick to that. It is on our website, allercuisine.com. But I use liverwurst and butter to make fake butter. This butter, our wonderful Earth Balance, completely vegan and soy-free and coconut-free and fabulous. Did I mention I don't get endorsements from these people? No affiliate links, nothing. It's just an awesome product. And so is this. So you want to make sure that if you're getting, because you got to look at the labels. I like this one that's continental. It's allergen-free, gluten-free, everything-free, so we don't have to worry about pesky allergens. So if you're going to do this kind of pate, make sure you're checking for your ingredients, because you want to make sure that you're cooking something that's safe for you. Just piling stuff up back here. Just my little Santa, the cutest darn thing. A friend of mine gave him to me a couple years ago, which is so sweet and darling and wonderful. So you're going to take your pate and you're going to smear it all over your tenderloin. Now I am being very polite here and using a spatula. I tell you, I may break down in a moment and use my hands. In truth, when no one's looking, I use my hands. And again, I promise I have washed my hands. So we're not getting anything ooky on here, which is why I do not want to touch that dog bone right now. So we get this all lathered on here. Isn't that awesome? And this is so good. I love this on a sandwich, and I will sit down with my gluten-free crackers and just dip that in here, rice crackers with my pate. Oh, it's so good and so much cheaper than real pate. If you don't have any allergies or you're checking labels and you find a store-bought pate with truffles or whatever, all the better. And so if you want to add a little truffle oil to this when you're mixing it up, bellissimo. I did not do that. I have truffle oil. I should probably do that next time I eat this. That's good stuff. So we have that. Now I am going to use my hands. And then you take your mushroom mixture, your mushroom and your scallions and your thyme that you forgot to put in there. Shh, don't tell. And we're just going to put it all around this little guy. Isn't that pretty? I think it's so pretty. I don't know, maybe I'm biased, but I do. I think it's pretty. So we get that all in there. Let's take a minute and wipe my hands too. Now we have this on the paper, which is going to make it a lot easier to assemble. So you just kind of start rolling this guy around. There we go. And you want to cut off, so I'm pinching this because I got a few holes. We want to cut off of the extra dough and just leave enough to tuck under this guy. So we cut that excess off. There it goes. And we're going to just tuck it this way because we're going to fold it this way. So we've got them a little upside down right now. So just kind of close those seams. Seam over on this side. We're going to cut off the excess. Tuck it under so we don't lose a lot. Oh, it's going to be so beautiful. I can hardly stand it. We have our pan. You can use a baking sheet or a roasting pan. It doesn't matter. I like a roasting pan because it has edges and it catches the juices. If you have a baking sheet with edges, that's perfect. If not, put a little tinfoil or something under there in case you get some spillage. So look at him, isn't he pretty? So now we have him all wrapped up. I like to take the excess dough, and this is something fun you can do with your kids. You take the excess dough and you can get cookie cutters or even just a knife, and you can cut out fun shapes. I do leaves with this particular dish. You can cut out a little leaf, put a little pattern on your little leaf. Isn't that fun? And then you can put these little leaves kind of all over your guy. and make them all happy. If you don't have an egg allergy, I absolutely recommend an egg wash because it's going to give your beef Wellington like that awesome mahogany kind of look, which is great. If you are, there are 1,000,001 alternatives to an egg wash. They are on our website, on our blog, so take a look at that. Great ideas, and melted butter is one of them. So you can always use melted butter, you can use a little non-dairy milk, you can use an egg if you don't have an egg allergy. A lot of different options. So then you want to just take your egg or your margarine or your non-dairy milk if you have a milk allergy, or your regular milk if you don't have a milk allergy. It's just, we like to provide opportunities for everybody, so we give lots of options. It's a little dizzying at times, but it just makes for safe eating. And then we're going to put this little guy in the oven, and we're going to cook him at 425. I should have preheated this. I did not. 425. I did make one earlier today, so let's say that makes up for it. 425. And you're going to cook them for about 45 minutes or until the internal temperature reads 125. Make sure he's nice and brown on the outside. You should not have to baste again, but you may. So keep a close eye on this poor little guy. And we just stick him in the oven, and presto changeo, out of the oven comes your beef Wellington. See my little leaves on there and how they're puffy and the pastry. Do you see how it's crumbled? Do you see the crumbles on this little guy? I will tell you what happened to this little guy. I got him all ready to go yesterday. I was so excited. I put him in my outside fridge, and it seemed a little warm. I was like, I don't want to spoil my meat. That's just horrible. So I turned it up. I turned it up too much, and everything froze. And it's okay. I mean, you can freeze dough and then take it out again, but I didn't realize it had frozen. So I just took it out with enough time to get ready for you. So I should have taken him out much earlier, because I put frozen dough in the oven with my little egg wash. That's the little one is now, the young one, the big dog, is now wanting to go outside. I don't know if you heard her. So it crumbled a little bit. And what I have to say to you is, it's okay. Because even if your wonderful beef Wellington comes out like this at Christmas time, you're gonna cut it, you're gonna slice it, it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be fabulous, it's gonna be delicious. I cannot wait to taste this puff pastry dough though. It's good. It's not as puffy as the puff you buy in the store, but it is a really good runner-up. I think we had a conversation about that before. Let's slice into this guy and see if he cooked, since he was frozen when he went in the oven. He's a little rare, but boy, it looks good. And my pastry is crumbling because it was frozen when it went in the oven. But you will not make that mistake. So now we have our Wellington. I don't want to cut this plate too much. And if you put yours in, when it's not frozen, it will not crumble like mine, but looks so pretty. You've got the rarer in the middle and the more medium rare on the outside, and you can just put all this stuff on top. Another hint, you do not have to wrap this whole guy. What you can do is you can slice your Wellington into pieces and then put your topping on the top and wrap it up and make individual servings, and that's always fun. We've done that in the past too. If this whole calamity frightens you, look at me destroying this thing on live TV. I'm fabulous. But again, it's not about perfection. It still tastes really good, and yours will be better because you won't freeze it prior to baking it. Don't do that, that's a bad idea. I didn't do it on purpose, it was an accident. Accidentally freezing your stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, that is how we make a gluten-free and allergy-friendly beef Wellington. I am so glad that you were able to come today. I do want you to know that we are giving a free PDF away on our website if you sign up for our newsletter. And that's all those simple substitutions that we talked about for the last 2 weeks. Flours and butters and eggs and milk and cheese and everything. So if you want those substitutions and the measure-to-measure formulas, you can make your own. Go ahead and sign up for that, and we will get that out to you right away. I would love to know what your thoughts are, what you would like to hear about in the future, what Facebook Lives would really help you and your family. So if you want to send me a private message, if you want to put that in the comments, that would be fabulous. I would love to hear from you about all of that. So it's an exciting time. We are taking next week off because it's Christmas, but we will be back next Wednesday at either 10 or 11, just depending on what I hear from you all, or we could do it on Thursdays. We can switch our day, but starting in January, I do want to be consistent. I want same day, same time, every time, so I can see all of you lovelies, and we can help each other out, because that's what it's about, right? You have a question, you have a concern, you put it in the comments, we all learn. It's awesome, wonderful, fabulous. So thank you so much for being here. Have a delicious day and go out and give somebody a quick big hug.